to the Hooligans Pitch podcast. As always, it's Chad and
Michael. I'm here. We're here,
he's
Chad.
here. Clearly feeling great about Liverpool, feeling great about the team. Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna come out of my shell now. Darkness, Chad, is all I see.
You're the highs of highs to the lowest of lows.
I don't know. I don't even know what to feel anymore. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I don't know. You know what will help though is a nice cold brew.
They always do, Chad. They always do.
Soothe the pain.
All right, you started off. What are you having today?
So I actually kind of, I want to say lucked into a pack of Fruit Force.
Oh, good for you.
Because I was talking to a friend at work about it, and I was like, "It's great. It tastes like, fruit punch." And they went and bought a pack. Didn't like it, and I was like, "So you can't just let that go to waste, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, you can have it." And I was like,
"Oh, hell yeah,
perfect." So
yeah, shout out to New Belgium. Hook us up
Yeah.
if you ever want to get on this show for free.
For real, yeah.
I'll gladly be here. I am drinking a beer out of Chicago, Illinois called Son of Juice by Maplewood. It's delicious. Found it at a little brewery here, and
Okay.
there's definitely some Son of Juice in here. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, good weekend overall. I can't say I'm as buzzing as last weekend. I ain't gonna lie. I hit that wall. And expectations are there. That was dude. Yeah, I mean, come on. How could you not?
You said it before, like no expectations, and you're fine. And then one great week, and you throw it all out the window.
Come on, Chad. We scored 7.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a joke that we can't get one past Bournemouth. I mean,
isn't that just
it's like a joke?
That's just how the football script goes, right? Is you have an amazing week, an amazing win, and then you come up against a team that you should beat by all accounts, and you just struggle. That's happened for so many teams.
But has it happened for teams who've won the Champions League 2 years ago and won the league a couple years ago, or in the Champions League final last year? It's just, it's mind-boggling because I could ask so many people, what's the last team you remember who scored 9 goals? It's going to be Liverpool, I imagine.
Yeah.
Last team scored 7 goals. It's probably still Liverpool. Yeah. And then to score 9 against this team and then lose to them a couple months later, shocking.
Just
absolutely
weird season.
Shocking. It's just devastating. I'll be real.
So should we get this game out of the way first then? So
yeah, let's get this game out of the way. Let's talk about it.
Did you watch this game live? Or?
Yeah. So it was early. It was 6:30, but it was a game we were able to watch in bed. So
yeah,
I was there for it. I was very confident. I was well aware of the situation and Bournemouth beating 9-0, and of course that team is going to come out with a way different energy the first time around. So
for sure.
Did I expect to beat them 9-0 again? No. Did I expect to beat them 5-0? No. Did I expect them to at least beat them? Absolutely. And the fact that Mo Salah, I don't know what the hell that PK was. That was one of the uglier ones. I get he's trying to smash top left, but I just...
Yeah. It's maybe one of those, just overthought it, right?
his run-up is so powerful. He has a very, huge build-up to his run-up, and I don't know if it's as controlled as some other players might be, where, you got players like Jorginho and just others who aren't smashing the ball in the back of the net. That's what Mo Salah does. He's gonna put a hole through the back of the net, but he also just doesn't really miss. I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, this game is not going to go our way.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not something you see often. Salah getting up there and not just missing or the PK getting saved, but he really missed it. It's good, maybe 10, 15 feet wide. It looked like.
Yeah, it was not good. And then when Gakpo's goal was called for offside, which it totally was, great ball by Nunez, and they peeled offside. When Klopp kind of celebrated there, I was like, uh-oh. He doesn't prematurely celebrate too often.
Yeah.
And I could tell he was just a little antsy after that. I don't know. It's What team is this? This is a team that's going to beat Team 7-0, or a team that's going to lose 1-0 against a bottom team. It's so confusing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's always going to, I think, be a maybe not tough game, but not a walk in the park. Like Bournemouth is fighting for their life, so they're going to throw everything they can into these games. But I mean, yeah, you would expect Liverpool to kind of be riding this high of what it was a 5-game streak of no losses in the league, and coming off the big win. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to watch it live, so I just watched the highlights, but it looked like just Liverpool's like midfield was just getting like bypassed. Like Bournemouth,
they were lofting the ball over the top a lot, and I think
yeah,
because in the Man U game, since we were so controlling, we had Virgil and Konate playing pretty high up. So Bournemouth a lot of the time was just throwing these balls over the top of them and kind of making their players go and get it.
yeah,
And if you do that 20 times and nail it one time, that's kind of good enough. And they just kind of kept just trying it and trying it until it finally broke through. I don't know, that the backline scheme, they need to be able to protect each other a little bit more.
Should they not have adjusted to that? I mean, if Bournemouth had been doing this so often, and like, yeah, maybe not every time they get through in a threatening way, but they're at least causing some issue in the back line. So I don't know, maybe that's a tactical failing of either the system or Klopp on this day of not adjusting properly to that kind of style of play. Like,
you know what the tactical failure is, Chad? The fact that we didn't score a goddamn goal. Well, like that score 2 goals and our problems are solved. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I understand you need to make sure the back line isn't messed up, but it was one time they got by. Okay, great. There's still, when they score the 28th minute, plenty of game left from there. The PK didn't happen until around the 60th minute. And then it just looked like it got worse and worse, and the ending was just slow, and I was just like, this is done. And I was not a great way to start my Saturday. It didn't have
those
work,
rough.
and I was just like, oh man, like everyone's gonna wake up and see that score line first. It's like
I woke up to I didn't even see the scores yet. I just woke up to your message. It was like, make it make sense, and I was like, that doesn't sound good.
But for real, make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's just a weird season, and it kind of hasn't exactly thrown a wrench in my fantasy plans, but like I was gonna use this week to decide between Nunez and Gakpo to replace Holland in my team, and
wait a week.
I don't know. Yeah, now maybe. But then if I just keep pushing it off, I don't know if that gets any better, or I don't know. There's no real other striking alternative that looks too threatening right now. So
maybe I was hoping there might be some options. I mean, you have a little bit of time to make your run. I guess not that much time. You got like 2 months.
Not a lot, but I mean, yeah, it's. I was just hoping that after the Man U game, like Gakpo looked a lot more confident and comfortable in that center striker role. So I thought maybe now we were going to actually see him kind of take over that role and hopefully get goals. But yeah, this game didn't really help me decide one way or the other. And I don't know. Maybe I'm looking elsewhere now, but we'll see.
Well, next EPL game for Liverpool is Man City. So consider that. Consider, last time around when Liverpool played an amazing game, and City was, for most of that game, stressing out, very flustered. They're going to come out very different from the first time around. And I hope Liverpool plays Madrid this week. I hope that game is at least competitive, so they have the right mindset going in to the April 1st game against City. I mean, that's all I can hope for is a decent game this week to then hopefully have the right mindset for the end of the month. But I don't know. I mean, credit to Norberto Neto though in the back of the Bournemouth net. He was saving. I mean, he was saving. Jota came back in. He had a good hit. I mean, he made plays.
Yeah.
So he had to. He knew Liverpool were coming out of a huge win and we're gonna put shots on him. But I mean, Bournemouth as a whole played really good. So it sucks we weren't better than that team.
Yeah. Do you think it was a case of um, like Liverpool kind of like playing down to
Of
where they
course,
think
we
Bournemouth
always do
level
that.
is?
We do that.
Yeah.
We do that. That's why we beat City. That's why we beat United. That's why
Yeah.
we draw to Crystal Palace and lose to Bournemouth. And you just go down the list. Lose to Wolverhampton. Lose to Brighton. Lose to Brighton. Lose to Brentford. It's like what? It's crazy.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I've said it 3 times now, but weird season, just
It is so weird. It's so weird. It's very,
yeah.
very frustrating. But shout out to Bournemouth. They're my nomination for Team of the Week. Had to
Yeah, I
do
got
it.
him on the list.
Had to
Yeah.
do it. I mean, you can
I
come
mean,
out
it's a big 3 points for Bournemouth's
for
chance of
sure.
survival here. So, and to get that against Liverpool, not the greatest season for Liverpool, but coming off of that win, you would think it's almost Liverpool of old. So to get something from that game is big for Bournemouth, and yeah, we'll see.
And Bournemouth's schedule's been hard lately too. I mean,
Yeah.
they almost I'm gonna say it. They almost
So,
drew
oh yeah,
Arsenal.
yeah.
Tough game against City. They beat the Wolves. They drew Castle and they lost to Brighton. All really close competitive games besides the City one. So
Yeah.
I won't say they're a force to be reckoned with, but they're a team to take seriously. And I think
They got some good fight in them for sure.
Yep, a lot of guys I think who want to prove themselves, and because you look up and down that roster, a lot of names in there. You're like, who are they? Where are they from?
Mhm.
But having Neto as their leader, I think is just like that's a
Yeah.
good start right there. I mean, he's been around. He's in his 30s. Definitely the older guy on that roster, but. I don't know. Kudos. All you can do.
Yeah.
Go next.
That's it.
Let's go Madrid this week, and hopefully our Liverpool lads can find a way to score. Because to go from 7-0 is just like it's crazy.
Used it all in that one game.
I know. Who said that in text? Someone
I forget
said
who.
it. I think it was Zach. Shout
It
out
might have
Zach.
been. Yeah. Well, on to the next one, I guess.
Yeah, I got my vent out of the way. You can. What do you want to talk about? You had a good day. You want to talk about your day, and then we'll kind of jump through everything else.
Yeah, we can just jump there. Honestly, I was a little bit nervous coming into this game. Not necessarily because Fulham has been playing great, but Arsenal just went away to Portugal midweek, and then going away again here is like kind of back to back a little bit. Just a lot of movement, not the comfort of home. But I mean, it once the game started, it was the same Fulham side we've seen for so long now, just like so slow to get into the game and start playing, and Arsenal took advantage of that. And there was a lot of moments of just like pure Arteta ball magic going on, and I mean, it's great to watch.
No, it was a fun game to watch. The grass was a little wet, so balls were just flying across the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Fulham was just, you're right, they were just slow, kind of lethargic, didn't want it.
No, and they aren't getting Mitrovic into the games anymore. Like granted he hasn't been the Mitrovic of the beginning of the season, but I don't know how many touches he had, but the times I remember seeing him in the play or try to affect the play was minimal.
He looked more like a defender today. A couple clearances, block shot.
Yeah.
He did hit the woodwork at one point.
Yeah, I mean,
but again, it wasn't anything that
wasn't,
Ramsdale wasn't gonna save if it was in the area.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't his worst game, but not the threat that he used to be for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But Big Gabby, in the last 4 matches against Fulham, he scored 3 times. This guy hates Fulham. I don't know what it is, but he likes a goal against Fulham.
Gabby. I wanted to put Gabby on my team until I didn't know like where Arsenal was going to go. Good game for Saliba too, stat wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. Arsenal's just clicking right now too.
Yeah,
Again.
I mean, yeah, we kind of made it through this questionable period where Gabriel Jesus was out. he got some minutes in today. He certainly not up to full match fitness yet, but still looked threatening. Got into some good spots. Probably should have had a better shot on goal, but it was like his first 10 minutes back into the game.
Yeah,
So,
you're not going to rush something like that or have expectations that like, oh, we need him, because that's the beautiful thing about where their team is at right now. They don't even need him.
Yeah. So I mean, that's
crazy.
Kind of regardless how this season ends. Like, I think that's a really big testament to Arteta and like what this team has been able to do. Is like, you miss this key signing, key forward player for 3 months, and you're still top of the table by the time he comes back. Like, that's pretty good.
It ain't bad.
No, definitely. And Trossard has just been a great winter signing. 3 assists today in the first half.
Slotted in so nicely.
Yeah. And I guess I was kind of surprised by this, honestly, but I guess he's the first player in Premier League history to get 3 assists in the first half.
That's shocking.
Yeah, I feel like that would have happened before, like in a 9-0 game or something, right? Like,
wow. I can't believe that's never happened.
Yeah.
Do you have stats behind the most assists in a game?
Not the most ever. Okay. The other player to get 3 assists in a game this season was Firmino during the 9-0 at Bournemouth, against Bournemouth. But yeah, I mean, Trossard slotted in pretty perfectly. I think at the end of the day, he was probably the smarter pick compared to Mudryk, just because he has that Premier League experience and overall game experience. Well, Mudryk was more of that like potential player.
Yeah.
So could get there, but probably not what Arsenal needed now to finish out the season. So yeah, we'll see. This run-in is going to be spicy either way, but I'm just glad we have Jesus back. That'll be really nice, really helpful.
The depth is needed. A quick stat for you. The most assists by any one player in the single Premier League is 4. 7 players have managed to get it. 4 of them have played for Arsenal.
Oh, really? Wow.
So, interesting. Yeah, Dennis Bergkamp in 1999 got 4 assists in a 5-0 win over Leicester in February of 1999.
Dang. Yeah, I don't know. Fulham was. I don't know. I think they're falling here.
They're falling fast. I mean, they were top 5 for so long, and now it's just they're lacking the Mitrovic effect. He's slowly dying out, slowly going away. It sucks to see, but at the same time, it's good for everyone else who's trying to move up. So yeah, they've lost 2 in a row, Fulham. I won't be surprised if they continue to lose a little bit more. Maybe hang on to top 10. They're still better than Chelsea, though. Even though Chelsea finally scored some goals, they're still above Chelsea.
How is Chelsea still 10th? Like,
all right, look. Let's segue here. Watching that Chelsea game did not prove to me that they were a team who's still like worthy of being top 10. I thought,
okay.
Well,
I only got to watch the highlights.
Can we segue? Can we segue to this?
Yeah.
Wout Fass is the worst defender I've ever seen in my life. If that guy is not on Leicester, I think this team could be a potential top 10 team. Hot take, but he is that bad.
So you're saying Soyuncu should play ahead of
absolutely
this guy?
Soyuncu isn't getting red cards every game and letting in own goals and just playing like whenever Faz like was questioned by the ref, he was just like really? Like, it's like, dude, his teammates are getting mad at him. Like, you can just tell he's, I don't want to say like a team cancer, but there is definitely some growing frustrations with him behind everyone else. At least that's what I think. I will not be surprised if he doesn't play another game for Leicester for the rest of this year.
I mean, I've been surprised that there just hasn't been much rotation in their back line. Like, they haven't been super solid in defense. So, why not switch it up? And why is Soyuncu's just like
wasting away?
He's seen like maybe a handful of minutes this season, but like, yeah, he was so good for them last season, and then this time he can't get a run of games at all. It's ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy. And then don't forget about 30-year-old Jannik Vestergaard.
Oh, that's
who's
right.
still there too. So they could actually line up a pretty suitable back line of some senior guys in there who kind of been around
Yeah.
and know what it's like. Instead, they
Or
got how old is
I think he's pretty
Wout?
young, but
Yeah,
I mean, you at
23,
least got to do, the one
24.
experienced older defender and like the new guy, right? Like, I don't know, got to try something different, clearly. And I mean, I guess Rogers will kind of be forced to do that now anyway. But
It's bad. And shout outs to Johnny Evans. I thought he played pretty damn good. He made some pretty good saves. Shout outs to my he made my defensive play for this week. He played. I thought he played fine given what he had in front of him.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, yeah, from the highlights, it looked like Leicester might feel a little bit unlucky to not have gotten a little bit more from this game. Like they, I think, had some good shots and good opportunities and stuff, but finishing was just a little bit meh.
yeah.
Like I think it's pretty early on. Madison crosses in a ball like really hard and right in front of goal, and the dude just heads it wide somehow, and it's like, just head it straight and it's in. And just those little moments, like if you can't jump on that and take advantage of that, like
Who headed that ball? Do you remember?
I think it was a Marty or something.
Oh, okay. Daka had a great shot, great goal. I really like that one. Actually, my goal list this week is fairly long.
Oh, you got a long one? Mine's pretty short.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on it.
Oh, I got 4. So.
Oh, okay, that's not that long. Usually I'm like, that's the one.
Oh,
and now this week I'm like, there's a couple in here. And then Ben Chilwell too.
Yeah, Daka's goal and Ben Chilwell are both on my list for sure.
Look at that. our minds are alike here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I just, we've seen Chelsea struggle for this last 2 months to score, and they finally got through on Leicester. And I don't think those are the goals that are going to all of a sudden propel them into believing they're a great team.
Well, I mean, yeah, let's pump the brakes. They beat Leeds and Leicester, who,
right? Have done not.
Sorry, yeah,
streaky.
I have not been great. So, it's. I guess maybe they can take some motivation from it and hopefully start to finally click. But did
you see Mudryk's celebration?
Yeah.
I was like, I think he's off, and then he was so fired. I feel like felt bad.
To be fair, like he was really close to being on. Still, he was just that quick.
Sure,
but
it was a 50-50 call. My judgment was initially I was like, I think he's off. But usually with players, they celebrate and then they like kind of look around to see if it happened. He didn't even. He's like straight for the flag, like yeah. And I was like, oh no.
Maybe he was thinking, if I just really celebrate this, ref and VAR will just not even look at it and we'll be good.
Yeah, if you believe it enough, it'll come true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. There were 2 VAR moments in this game, though. I don't know.
Oh yes, remind me of the one.
I mean. There was a free kick that Leicester had. They kick it, and Fofana kind of like shoves his elbow out a little bit when he's in the wall, and so probably should have been a penalty. Like, I mean, it wasn't just like a jump and like your arms go up. It was like a and like kind of move his arm out. So I think probably a handball at that point. But I don't know.
Was the other one? No, it's crazy because how many games like run through my head at this point. Because there are a lot of weird VAR and weird handball ones this week. Was this the game where someone was on the ground and their hand was on the ground, like already planted?
I'm
getting my games mixed up.
But that did happen this week in the United Southampton game.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of then. Okay.
Yeah, the other one here was the challenge on João Felix.
Oh, that's right. What'd you think of that?
I mean, that's a stonewall red card, right? You stepped on the guy's like ankle, shin, lower leg. Like, what are we doing here?
Okay, so let's compare and contrast with Casemiro. We can segue to Man United after this.
Yeah.
What is the difference between those two plays where one is a red card and one isn't. Because I guarantee if you show that to a stranger and tell me which one got a red card and which one didn't, they probably wouldn't be picking the Casemiro one just because of where the ball was,
Yeah.
because he won the ball, his leg bounced up. Why? And I know you probably don't have a good answer for me because I don't know. I don't know how you can have a good answer for this, but why is that one not a red card and Casemiro's is?
I mean, yeah. Between the two, if you had to give one a red, one a yellow, Casemiro would be the yellow because he at least plays the ball, right?
Right.
Um,
And now, could you say, before we move on, could you say that Casemiro's foot moved up unintentionally?
you could, but I think he still just comes in a little bit high for that challenge. Um, so like he came in recklessly, right? Like, so I'm fine with his being a red, but like if his is a red, this challenge on João Felix is even more of a red.
For
Like
sure.
it's just a straight, like pretty much a stamp on him. You know, not even a real attempt at the ball or anything.
Ouch. Like straight out.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe. I was like, what? Yeah.
I don't know how they got away with that one.
That
Like
was wild.
that's it. Just for some of the reds that we've seen given, and you know, especially when you do have the Casemiro one to compare it to, is like this should have been the easiest call. Like I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah. No consistency. Just across the board, you just never know what you're going to get. The interesting stat was that Casemiro's played over 300 games for Madrid, never received a straight red. Now he has 2 in the last month for United. Do you think his agility is just going down a little bit, so he's thinking he can do things a little bit quicker? That's the chokehold one. Okay, like that has nothing to do with the game and like what.
Yeah.
But the last one we saw, it makes me wonder, like, is he slowing down a little bit where he thinks he's going to get there and he's not? I mean, he's over 30. Mm-hmm. He's never been a reckless player like that.
Yeah, I think that probably plays a little bit into it. And then, you know, this game, I mean, he got his red like 30 minutes in, but it's still, you know, 0-0. So it's wanting to push a little bit harder, maybe to win the ball back and try and start the counter attack and all that. So yeah, maybe a little bit of age creeping in, and I don't know, just doesn't get away with it so much in the VAR era. Maybe like I don't know, but I'm kind of interested to see what happens with United now, because last time they lost Casemiro, they kind of struggled.
They did have a little stumble.
That's what a lot of people pointed to, is like, well, we'd be better with Casemiro. And it's like, okay, well, if he's going to get multiple red cards in a season, then
you're saying they would be good with him or good without him?
You know, a lot of their fans were saying that because he was out the last time he served his suspension, like that's why they were performing poorly.
Oh, okay.
Only because they were missing Casemiro. And it's like, well, yeah, he's a big player in the midfield, but like you got to be able to work around that too. So
he's vital to what they do. He provides security, yet an offensive presence that McTominay doesn't give you. Fred doesn't give you. Fred's too small. Yeah. McTominay's too confusing. Like, I don't know what McTominay's thinking whenever he touches the ball, and I don't think he knows what he's thinking.
No, he just pure vibes out there.
Casemiro, though, I can tell like he's kind of planning like 2 passes ahead on what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I do think he's a big loss for them. Am I happy with it? Of course. This is a chance for everyone else to kind of move up the table a little bit. I don't think it's detrimental to their top 4 spot. I think they're going to be just fine. That team should be deep enough to provide the support that, you know, the forwards need from their back line. I guess this is Sabitzer's chance to kind of show up. Fred has been really good for that team too. You know, when Fred came in, he was definitely, you know, Man U fans weren't the happiest about him, and now he's kind of found his spot. He's kind of that good role player that they need. It's the Antonys that they need to step up. It's the Sanchos. It's, you know, Rashford is. I think Rashford gave it his all for the last 2 months, and he's probably gassed a little bit. which
Yeah, I mean, he
makes
definitely needs a little bit
sense
of help. Like
for sure.
it had been, Rashford and Bruno just kind of leading the charge, and then if they don't score, you do need some other people to step up and
Yep.
make something happen.
Yep. And it makes you wonder if Bruno, because Bruno was kind of invisible today, if he's kind of mentally out of it just after last game, getting absolutely crushed, and then drawing against Southampton.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The worst team in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think they're dead bottom there.
So,
which, I mean, to be fair to them, it's only 2 points to safety still. So,
yeah, they could be 15th if they would have won today or whatever, and no longer the worst team in the Premier League. But credit to them for not giving up. I mean, both sides really, like, both teams fought, but Southampton had a little bit more of, I don't want to say an edge, but definitely like, okay, we're not going to lose to this 10-man Man United team. There's no way.
Yeah.
So
I think they had some good looks. James Ward-Prowse almost got another free kick goal. He was so close.
All the records I want to be broken right now aren't happening, so I need to chill and not think about them so much.
Yeah. No expectations.
Yeah, man. Because when Salah stepped up for that PK, I was like, finally. I was like, oh my god. Son of a.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any more about that game you want to bring up?
Not so much. I mean, there was Bella Kotchap puts his arm on the ground at one point and kind of stops the ball.
What'd you think of that?
Probably should have been a penalty. I mean, he was like kind of falling, but like I think it was kind of the same as that one earlier in the season where like they're falling and yes, using their arm to like brace themselves, but like you shouldn't be falling there because now it looks like you're almost making like a goalkeeping kind of save.
Okay, so here's what I thought about with that whole arm planting thing. It's like to protect your fall. Mm-hmm. Could you implement this behind a free kick wall? Okay, just bear with me here. I'm kind of like, I'm going to set you up. You got a 4-man wall in front of you. You have a guy lingering behind, right? He's kind of dancing around the back wall. When the ball is going to be kicked, he slides behind the wall. So instead of lying there previously, sliding behind it, but using his arm to extend his body out a little bit further, right? So he could be falling, say he's falling on his right side, but he's sliding. So he's using his right arm to extend his body out, and the ball hits his arm. Could you say he was protecting his fall, thus extending the wall initially? I know it's crazy, but I was just like, I was brainstorming this, and I was like, could they get away with that? And I think they probably could because of this stupid rule.
I mean, yeah, I would think no, because at that point you're like making your body bigger. But we've seen twice this season now that you can put your arm down.
It doesn't matter.
And it's like making your space bigger technically, and it's fine. So
I'm just waiting for the next evolution of behind the wall, because that only happened a couple years ago. I don't know. Like, how big can they make this thing? It's interesting. I just wish they would kind of come down and just be like, hey, if you're falling to the ground and the ball hits your arm, it's going to be a handball. Like, make that clear and direct.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can, word it so if you were, pushed or something, then okay, you're protecting yourself in the fall, so that's a different scenario. But even if it's just you slipping, like, that's just bad luck. But like, that's how it goes sometimes, If you're still at the end of the day using your arm or hand or elbow, whatever, to make yourself bigger and block a shot or a pass, and if it doesn't get called consistently, like, teams will find a way to use it to their advantage.
we have to backtrack here just a little bit, because you said the word slipping, and it reminded me of the Fabio slip in the Arsenal game. You saw this, right? When he slipped and got a free kick?
This is Galaxy Brain play.
Okay.
From him. You're in on goal, all right? Pressure's on the keeper now, one-on-one. Galaxy Brain moment. Trip yourself, get the free kick, get the whole team up there, better chance at scoring.
What did the ref see? Because really, that defender was not
Oh my
that
gosh.
close to him. There was plenty of green space in between him. I was
No,
very
yeah.
confused when I first saw that. I thought he touched him before he got the ball and caused him his balance to be off, but no, the dude just straight like clipped his
Yeah.
own heels and
Yeah.
fell, and then the ref gave it to them.
But like in that position though, if the ref thinks it's a foul from the defender, would that not be a card? Because he's in on goal. I don't think he was last man technically. I think at the other end there's someone a little bit deeper, but so like I feel like that should have been a card then if the ref believed that Vieira was actually fouled. So
This leads you down a whole wormhole because now, Chad, say this is a 0-0 game, and they set up for a free kick and score it.
Oh yeah.
What? Like this is where I believe coaches' challenges need to happen, because if this was a scenario where the game mattered and they're lucky that this game at that point meant nothing. It makes you wonder if it would have been called or how different it would have been. But a coach has to tell a ref, like, you missed that so terribly, we have to go look at that on the replay.
Yeah, I think that would be fair. I mean, as long as you implement the challenge, in a similar way to American football, so it's not like you can't challenge every call and all this,
Or do like extra time. An extra time, we'll review something if it's, controversial or whatever. And the fact that Fabio had a big old smile on his face, like looking like we just earned a free kick, like, okay, that's great.
Yeah. I don't know, like, because there's the center ref who calls it, but then that line ref he's in line with that play, right?
You know what? I didn't even see what the linesman did.
I didn't see either, but I figure he's right there. So like, he's not going to communicate that like, oh no, there's like a good foot between these two players, like he just tripped. Or at that point they were like, it's 3-0, this game's almost over. Who cares?
I thought the game was over. I thought that's why I thought that's what he called. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then it's like, what did he just call?
Yeah, very strange. I mean,
so bizarre.
We have talked about so much of the reffing is just poor and inconsistent, but like
it's worse when you get to see every single game though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Unfortunately, in this replay, you can't see the linesman.
I mean, but he's got to be close to that, right? It's on his side. He's supposed to be in line with the last defender, so it's around that area. And
my only guess is Jesus cut off his vision because Fabio gets the ball. Well, they line up perfectly as they're running past each other.
Oh, well, but I mean, still, like,
and you got someone's running up to the referee too, complaining that should have been a free kick,
as they should.
Who is that? I can't tell who it is. I'm not sure who ran up to the ref at that point, but someone with dark hair. Oh, I think it's Xhaka. Yeah, it is Xhaka. What?
Probably.
Yeah, it is him. He's complaining, saying he tripped him when he's pointing. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, that's I just forgot about that.
Yeah, I did too. But
that was a funny bit.
Just silly.
A funny bit. All right, Tottenham
and Forest, huh? Richarlison very nearly scored his first goal for Tottenham.
Okay, let's talk Richarlison because he's been in the news lately about being a fraud or whatever, and I kind of disagree with that.
Really?
Kind of. I don't think he's worth the price tag and all these extra things, but I do think he's very what's the right word here? He's energetic enough to where he gets the attention of defenders, thus allowing Kane and Son to do different things. I'm not saying those are good things. I'm just saying different. They get to play a little bit more I don't know. It's just unique. He has some like Brazilian flair that comes out every now and then. He does touch the ball fast. He goes at you really quickly. Is that a good thing? I don't know. I don't think it's a great thing. I think it's kind of uncontrollable at times. You're just like, holy shit, dude, slow down. But he set up Son. He can get the ball and go, and I think that's very important for what Tottenham needs, because they're such a defensive minded team where they don't really have. Son used to be that player where he'd get the
Yeah.
ball and just like straight go as fast as he could. It's not like that anymore, so they kind of need someone to replace that. And I think Kane really enjoys to be around a player like that, because look at that, 2 goals today, and one's from a PK, but he did find success when Richarlison was kind of being a little more ball dominant. So I don't know. I think I understand the frustration by this guy not scoring, but at the same time, you got Harry Kane, you got Human Son, like you got those 2 guys too who are above him in the pecking order and should be scoring more.
Yeah,
at this point,
and I mean, to be fair to Richarlison, he doesn't get a lot of starts. He's often coming on as the late sub, and at that point, it's kind of sometimes hard to get into the game fully, or depending the game state. Like,
and it's Tottenham. If they go up 1-0, they're not going to push the pace.
Yeah.
So it's a little unfair to him saying why hasn't he scored more when Tottenham as a whole hasn't even scored that much.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, I think the price tag is what causes the issue from like the fan perspective, because you paid 60 million or whatever for him, and then you have Gabriel Jesus, who's like 45-50 for Arsenal. Is like the level between those two, I think, is noticeable. I don't know. You would want Richarlison to at least like score a few goals. I mean, he did in the World Cup, so like he's capable of it. He pretty much kept Everton alive last season, so
right.
He's got it. It almost just feels like it was maybe not necessarily a Conte signing, but just like a Tottenham signing. And Conte's like not 100% sure how to use him, or like when to use him, or I don't know, his best position maybe. But I mean, I guess you just have to wait until next season when Conte's probably gone and Kane's probably gone, and
the whole team is
then Richarlison can start up top every game.
I stand corrected. I said Tottenham doesn't score a lot. They're 3rd in the league in scoring.
It comes in waves, I think.
Yeah,
because like they're kind of
goals and then dies out.
Yeah, they're kind of that same issue of like what we were saying with United, whereas like Kane is your main goal threat, and when he's not scoring, like Son hasn't really done much. Kulusevski's kind of fallen off. Richarlison hasn't done it. They get a few goals from midfield and the occasional defender and stuff, but it's worked so far, but I don't think it's certainly not a sustainable way forward. If you're trying to make like a title charge for top 4, it might work. It just kind of depends on the other teams, but
they just let in a lot of goals too, though. That's the problem. You take out Man United's 7-goal loss, and Tottenham, out of the top 6 teams, they let in 37 goals, and Man United's next with 35, and then it goes 29, 25, 25, 18. So their defense sucks.
Yeah.
Their offense at times, we've questioned it a ton. It's like it takes either too long to get going, or it doesn't happen until or it happens at the start and then doesn't exist anymore. It's just that team is still so confusing. They're lucky to have Harry Kane.
Oof.
And his finishing.
That's what I'm saying. If he actually leaves in the summer, you'll look to find a replacement, but
it's going to be Lukaku.
You think so?
Yeah. If Conte stays. Sorry.
I don't think Conte stays, though. I think Conte goes and Kane goes, and you're almost entering like just like a full rebuild at that point. Like, I think Son will stick around. You'll have Richarlison. They'll probably end up buying Kulusevski. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
my prediction: Edin Dzeko makes a comeback to the Premier League.
Yeah, that's
a bold hot take.
That is,
but he's still doing decent. Older guy, could lead a young team, especially they're getting a lot of younger squad members in there. I could see him being that leading striker that could be fairly cheap.
Yeah, could be. Or you just put Richarlison up top, and he did well there for Brazil
hope and
in the
pray.
World Cup, so he's got it in him. Just not under this setup, I think.
and he's got a giant tattoo of himself on his back, so the ego's there.
Yeah, what more could you ask for?
He's got 3 legends on his back. That tattoo is so weird.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those of like, yeah, you got the elite sport athlete ego, but then you also just have the like stupid money. So you walk into any place and you're like, yo, I want a tattoo of my face on the back, and like, sure thing, man.
Yep, it's like the Steve-O effect, except his makes a little more sense. Who's on his back again? Is it Ronaldo and Pele?
Neymar? Is it Pele?
He put Neymar on his back.
I feel like it was Neymar.
Dude, it's like Neymar died.
It was so weird because it was Richarlison, I think Neymar, which is already kind of weird because like you're playing with the dude.
Yeah, dude, it's Ronaldo, Richarlison, and Neymar. It's so weird.
Yeah, I wonder how Neymar feels about that.
I'd be a little weirded out if I was him.
Right? Like, I guess like, thanks for.
Okay, hang on. I just found a headline that I need to find out if this is true.
Oh no!
Richarlison sent $26,000 by Neymar to remove tattoo of Brazil World Cup teammate's face. Dated December 17th. I mean, I don't know how we find out if this is real or not. It's express.ko.uk.
It's got to be real. I'm going with it. If I'm Neymar, I got the money to just send 20 grand, 30 grand to my national squad teammate to be like, yo, take my face off your back.
Football.london/Tottenham FC reports the same thing. This might be a true story. Wow.
How did that not become a bigger deal? Like,
I have no idea, but this is something that we're going to post in our group because I don't blame Neymar. I wouldn't want my face on his back either.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Why wouldn't you just get 3 legends on your back?
Yeah. If you want to go the Steve-O route and do your face on there, okay, cool. But then
keep it your face.
Why not Pele? Like, Brazilian football, world football absolute legend. Like
Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and Pele.
Ronaldinho,
Roberto Carlos. Like, we can go on.
Any of these big names from like actual, Brazil and world football fame. Like, not that Neymar's not, but like he's still playing, so it's like so weird.
It's like a tribute. Yeah. It's like, sorry, man, I'm take your spot. He's like, hell with that.
Yeah, what? Ugh.
Yeah, that's so freaking weird.
Anyway,
let's get back on topic of the EPL here. Tottenham, yep, they won. That's about it for me.
Yeah. Everton brought
go ahead.
Some heat. Pretty great goal to start the game.
Shout outs McNeil. That's my potential goal of the week. Yep.
And they ended Brentford's 12-game unbeaten run. So
wow,
it's a big deal.
Nice. So Sean Dyche coming up. Who's Everton have next?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I got you. Don't worry. It's Chelsea.
We
talked about this. We talked about this.
Yeah. I still think they win.
I think Everton. I mean, they got some momentum now.
Momentum.
Just took out a top 10 team. Now they got to go against a somewhat top 10 team in Chelsea. I think they could do it. And then they got Tottenham after that. This could be a little streak for Everton to kind of move up the table a little bit. Yes, Brentford didn't play great though. I mean,
no,
you got to get the magnifying glass out to find Ivan Toney. Totally
See, that's my
invisible.
issue
I
with him.
I know. I knew you were gonna say this. I knew it.
Because, like, especially since I've been rethinking my fantasy team a little bit, like, Tony is what, third, fourth in most goals this
Probably
season.
yeah, third or fourth.
So,
At
like,
worst, fourth.
he's doing well, but he's just so inconsistent with it, and Brentford kind of need him to always be a threat, and then he just kind of goes on these runs where he doesn't do much. He wins a lot of balls in the air, and that's kind of it. And doesn't really help push them forward too much. But I don't know. Maybe that's credit to Everton of silencing him. But
He's third right now. 15 goals, 3 assists, 23 appearances. More goals than the Rashfords, the
yeah, and
Martinellis, the
not
Mo
bad numbers
Salahs.
at all. But yeah,
It
just
waves. They come in waves.
yeah.
Yeah, Brentford, great game last week. This week, they probably don't feel too hot about losing to Everton. But again, all runs have to come to an end.
Yeah, and I think
It's not the worst team to lose to.
no, that's what I was gonna say. I think right now you come up against anyone, 12 to 20, and it's probably gonna be a tough game because it's so tight down there. They're all fighting for their life, fighting for points. Like, you're not gonna find an easy game down there.
They're still all 5 points within each other.
It's wild.
It's gonna be like that, I think, until the end.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think anyone else can get close, though, right? Aston Villa would really have to fall off.
Yeah, I think they're probably good. I mean, honestly, I think Palace and Wolves will probably be okay.
Look at Palace's last 6.
I have seen this.
Falling
Okay,
apart, Chad. Falling apart.
but they got a good lead from the start of the season, so I think they can maybe pull it out. I don't think it'll be pretty, but I think they'll pull it out.
Okay, segue. Did you see them go take their PK? Woo! That was ugly. That was worse than Salah's by far, and Salah didn't even hit the target.
It's fair. Yeah, it's not great, okay, but I think they make it out.
Shout outs to Vincent Goyeta for making a sweet ass save with Rodrigo's hit. I don't know if you saw that one, but
yeah.
That's between that shot and Johnny Evans' save. Those are my two like kind of defensive highlights this week. Mm-hmm. Just rockets shot at them, but the Rodrigo one, that was quick reflexes early in the game too. You can't let that slip. But Crystal Palace, they didn't want to win that game, and City barely wanted to win that game too.
Yeah, I mean that I caught a little bit of this game, and it's like going away to Palace is a little bit difficult anyway. But I mean, Man City, I feel like they didn't look like overly threatening. I guess.
Is this just the Palace effect? Everyone struggles against Palace, even Palace.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I still think City is just on this weird. Don't really know how to fully utilize Haaland yet. Like, they still want to do all these like intricate passing to get it up there and do the simple cutback and stuff. But like, Haaland, I mean, he's big and he's quick. He makes some good runs, and they just don't hit him with the long balls and stuff. Like, I think you maybe look to those a little bit more. Like, I know it's not the pretty tiki-taka football that Pep likes to play, but you got
the dude's a beast.
Yeah, use him. Yeah. Look, I know I said Palace is going to be safe, so this stat is not going to support it at all. But this is now the third match in a row they have not had a shot on target.
And wait, not even the PK? The PK should count. It counts as a shot, right?
I mean, okay, maybe from like open play or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're the first team to do that since 03-04 season. So they're in a rough spot. Like I said, it won't be pretty, but I think Palace survives.
If they do, they barely survive.
Yeah. Not pretty.
Barely.
Not pretty.
If. It's a big if. I don't see it coming true. I think that's the team. Even though they're 12? Are they the 12th team?
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. I look at everyone beneath them, and I think I can give you more reasons why they would move on and Palace wouldn't. It's a lot of reasons because there's so many teams down there. But I think I can at least give you one.
Yeah.
Looking at every team. Yeah, absolutely.
Wolves, I would agree, are going to be safe. They've been playing pretty well. Like still got to do some work, but their overall play, I think, is looking better. Forest, I think, is kind of the same. Like overall play is decent.
They spent too much money to go down. I'll stand by that fact.
That's probably
they will
fair.
Literally find they'll scratch and claw at everything, and they will not go down.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's keep going. You go Everton, I'll go Leicester, and we'll just keep going down.
Everton. I mean, I think Sean Dyche was the signing of the season for them. Honestly, just his tactical know-how of Burnley days of keeping Burnley alive in the Premier League for so long and scraping by on some wins, and they're not always the best, but he makes it happen. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all that Everton needed.
Leicester, they win 3, lose 4, win 4, lose 3. They're inconsistent, but they find ways to win because they score a lot.
Yeah.
They're top 10 in scoring. So that's why they're going to move on.
I'm telling you, as long as James Maddison is fit, they just got to be a little bit better with their finishing. They'll be fine. He creates so much
shit
for them.
Backline.
Well, that too, but
that's well, now they have their worst player not playing for a couple games, so I think
exactly.
See, this is where the green's going to come here.
And then he'll come back from suspension, get back in the team.
Yep.
And then the red patch comes again.
Yep. Exactly. Okay, West Ham.
Oof. I don't know.
You don't think West Ham could? I think they have the pedigree and the players to stay up.
Yeah,
they've. I don't want to say they've been here before, but they've been.
That's all they got going for them, though.
What do you mean?
Like they just don't ever look very convincing. I mean, they had that 4-0 win a couple weeks ago, but that was it. Like every other time I see them play, it's kind of stale.
But Chad, we're comparing them against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, so you're almost the same, right? Like you had one good game, and the rest are like.
I can't. You can't tell me Crystal Palace is better than West Ham because of the points.
No, not based off points. And even like currently, I'd say maybe West Ham is a little bit, clearly better. I mean, they have had shots on target and some goals. But I think Crystal Palace, they started so well. They've got players to do it. They just got to kind of find their rhythm again.
Maybe. Bournemouth, they just beat Liverpool. They could get on top 3. They're at least better than Crystal Palace. I know
they're on the up and up.
On the up and ups. Leeds, Segue, they played pretty good today.
Segue.
They played pretty good.
Yeah,
I like the fight they had. 2 players on my goal of the week are there. Jack Harrison with the redemption goal after his OG, slightly harsh OG, but to get the draw against a good side is promising. Bamford, I liked his goal. However, there was a slight deflection.
That's the only reason I didn't include it.
Look at that.
Because it's great goal.
It was shout-outs. Yeah, shout-outs.
Yeah, worth the shout-out for sure. But yeah, if it doesn't take that deflection, it's not. It might still be a goal. He might get it in there, but like
had a weird spin.
As pretty as
weird trajectory on the ball.
But I mean, yeah, I think Leeds looked a little bit more composed than we're used to seeing them. Like, not just run up and down the field over and over and make something happen. It was a little bit more controlled and like get down there, try and like build.
For sure, they slowed down outside of the 18 to then find some space, and Bamford had great control with his goal. I think they just need to take their time a little bit because with the players, they're like Energizer bunnies, right? It's Aronson. Yeah. It's like let's go, which I love. I wish United States could have had that when we were playing in the World Cup because I feel like we lacked that. And I don't think Leeds lacks that because they have a lot of players like Somerville,
Mhm.
who are just flying up and down the wings, but like lack that little bit of control. So, um, yeah, they're going to be interesting to see. And to draw Brighton, that's a pretty big deal because Brighton's been
Yeah.
awesome. However, I got to say, Brighton's first goal was pretty sweet.
What was that one?
It was a header by McAllister at the end, but the ball movement across the pitch was really nice.
Okay, yeah.
I can't call it my goal of the week, but if we had a build-up of the week, that would for sure be it. It was really cool to watch. It reminded me of, to a much lesser degree, but you know how Arsenal just had those like flick passes back in the day with the Ozil on the Sanchez's route. It was like
Yeah.
similar, not on that level, but it just gave me glimpses of that, and I was like, oh, like that's pretty cool. And then McAllister, he looked way bigger than I thought when he scored the
Really?
header. Yes, I was like, who is that forward for them? And I was like, oh shit. I was like, he's not. I don't think he's that tall.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's huge, but
I
yeah,
got.
don't
I
think
don't.
he's
I don't know
bigger.
my metrics, so let me. Yeah, he's 5'9".
Yeah, okay.
So
That sounds right. But
I mean, that's not technically, I guess, tall, but it's also for the league. It has decent, but
yeah.
going against Meslier, he does not have the height advantage. So
No,
to
certainly
beat out
not.
the header and get the ball above him, I don't know,
Yeah.
that was nice.
And this was another match with Brighton not starting Sanchez in goal. He makes the bench again. So I think it is just tactical of you kind of stopped performing, so we switched you out. But
Here's the thing,
I don't
Chad.
know.
I didn't know he wasn't not performing. Was not performing.
I mean, he just I think his shot stopping kind of has struggled in the past few weeks, but yeah, all of a sudden he's just riding the bench and Steele or whatever his name is starting.
I think there's some drama going down.
You think so?
Yeah. Headline, quote, "We don't have a problem," told Brighton manager when selecting his team for Leeds. There's something going on there. We don't know what it is.
Okay.
I'll pay attention a little bit more because
Yeah.
yeah, he came out so strong.
Yeah.
6'6", 25 on the Spanish national team, beating out De
Yeah.
Gea, sending De Gea into retirement.
Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely one to watch. I think probably just a little bit of a maybe not like ego check, but like skill check of be like you've been out of form. Here's your reminder of like you got to perform to start. I wouldn't think he's like out of the team necessarily, unless there is some backroom drama going on. I don't know, but
Yeah, I wish we could get leaked information. You know, it's funny just to kind of talk about basketball really quick. Basketball is like a giant soap opera for men because everything gets leaked, everything gets released. A player recently brought a gun on the team plane. It was in a strip club in Denver, and like there's videos and photos of it, and just like him with like a stripper
What?
on his lap with like bills everywhere, and that's when he pulled out the gun. And like I'm not saying I want this in the EPL, but I at least
No.
like I would love to get a little like glimpse of outside life, because as far as we know, we don't know what these guys do once they leave the pitch.
Oh no, yeah,
It's very it's very hidden.
we need the stray tweet of like, yo, Sanchez just said some shit in the locker room, like,
or Blake Griffin just called 911 because Chris Paul is going to come beat me up. Like that happened. That really happened, and we found out about it. Like that's crazy. We don't get that with the EPL. So
oh no,
yeah, the NBA is crazy. But what did you think of West Ham and Aston Villa drawing when Emi Martinez went to go potentially save the PK against Benrahma? I think Martinez has trained us now to think every time a PK is going, he's going to save it. I thought it was going to happen.
yeah. I don't know. Like,
Is it fake?
it seems like
Fake
it
energy.
just seems like Aston Villa Martinez is so different from Argentina Martinez, kind of like Jordan Pickford, right? Like maybe not Jordan Pickford so much. Like he's typically good with Everton and England, but I don't know. Especially considering the World Cup, I think Emmy was playing it like out of his mind a little bit. Aston Villa, he sometimes tries to do that, but something I think maybe squad buildup just doesn't like allow him to fully do that.
Yeah, maybe the team doesn't understand it. Because I'm
Yeah,
sure he's speaking another language where other players, maybe even on the opposition, don't understand him. Because I do notice when, especially in the Copa America, a couple of years back, he was, speaking in Spanish and
yeah,
going after the other team. And, he can't really do that against Harry Kane. Can't really do that against some of the German dudes. Like maybe a couple if they know it, but like,
yeah,
they're just like, what are you saying?
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that game just looked kind of sloppy on both ends. I think. Like,
Caught the highlights. It wasn't a game I was
yeah,
like too interested in looking for potential, I don't know, things to
yeah,
note about. I looked for good plays. I
hmm
didn't really find anything.
yeah. Not
And
really. I mean,
kind of just
it
a want
seemed
want.
kind of like back and forth, but um, not in a overly exciting way or anything.
Yep.
I did watch the Newcastle and Wolves game though.
Yes, as did I.
That was a pretty good one, I thought.
It was good. Yeah, I liked it. I liked what Newcastle. They finally scored 2 goals, which, gosh,
Well,
when was the last time
look,
that happened?
like we just said, I think last week. Why are you starting Colin Wilson up top? You got Saint Maximin, you got e- Isak. Like, start these guys. They're good, and I think they looked like pretty threatening in that first portion of the game where they were both on the pitch. Like, I don't know. I think that's your way forward. I don't think Colin Wilson is your top four, top six kind of guy.
I know we predict a lot of things, but it's so nice when we predict like one thing that stands out. Like I know we did it with Tottenham a couple of weeks back. Now we happen with Castle. We're like, why aren't they starting these guys? And they started them and they win. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Did you see Pope's
Oh,
foul
can
on
you read my notes? Just can do you see? Can you see? I think it's top right for you.
Nick Pope?
Nick
Question mark.
Pope? Question mark. Okay, let's talk about Nick Pope. Is he overrated?
I don't know now.
That was such a bonehead play. He ran up to the ball, or ran up to the player dribbling the ball. The player was going to slip around him, and he kind of just bumped him. And I think, remind me who that player was.
I'm pretty sure it's Jimenez.
Okay, Jimenez sold it probably a little too much,
I think that's the issue.
right? I think he sold it too much.
Because, yeah, like I think if you ride it out and then maybe stumble or something, like you get a better look. But because he kind of like tuck and rolls out of it I think kind of portrays it as more like dive than actually getting hit.
If he would have, it's all hindsight. Like if he would have done this, he would have done that. But I think if he would have tried to like fight through that and keep his balance, one, I think he might have scored. Two,
Yeah.
I think he could have maybe kept his balance enough to stay upright, but then not been able to go catch up to the ball because of how fast he was going. And then I would have just turned and looked at the ref and be like, "Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like I had this, and then this guy clipped me." Instead, tuck and roll, and nothing happened. Right? There was
No, because
nothing
I mean,
further.
you can't call a foul on Pope there, whether it's going to be yellow card, red card, no card, because then it'd be a penalty. I guess if anything, Jimenez maybe should have been carded for simulation, but wasn't.
It's just no
I
call.
mean,
No call.
I mean, should have been a no call, probably not. I think this is one there where VAR should definitely see there is contact, right?
Yeah.
Like, even though he is kind of selling it a little bit more than he needs to. I mean, anytime there's a keeper making a challenge like that, I think it's not a clear penalty, but it more often than not, it's a last ditch effort to stop a shot or the goal. So
It's just like,
probably
well,
should have been 10.
this is like twice in the last month now where he's done something just stupid, and he hasn't done anything stupid as far as we know in years. And it just makes me think now, the last couple of years, and when I say a couple, I mean like 5 or 6, we've only really paid attention to these players statistically unless we're watching the games.
Yeah.
And now that we're paying attention to almost their every move, I just wonder if this Nick Pope of new is the same Nick Pope of old.
I mean, I think it probably changes a little bit. Like Nick Pope was decent at Burnley, but he also had a very experienced backline in front of him. Started pretty decent here at Newcastle, but I think they're probably trying to move in the direction of your other top teams of kind of playing out of the back, playing with his feet much more, kind of being involved in the build up, which may not be Pope's strong suit. I mean, here he takes a pretty bad touch. His red card against Liverpool, he, wasn't trying to take a pass down necessarily, but completely mistimes his attempt. So yeah, it might be more of that, like he's being asked to do a little bit more than he's used to, so that it's just uncomfortable for him at this point.
I don't know. I would expect these things out of a younger player.
Yeah.
Nick Pope has been around for a while. He's 30. And he's still... If this would have been a one-time thing this season, like how it happened a couple of weeks ago, whatever. He did his handball thing, but like it was like almost the exact same type of run-up he had, and just like...
Yeah.
Bizarre. It's bizarre. And then Jose Sa on the other end, still a really good game for him. Yeah. Oh, I thought he was going to save that ball. It was like he didn't... It's like he didn't get enough power off of his jump, because we've seen him make those cat-like reflex jumps side to side, and I thought he was going to save that one, the one that Isaac hit, and he just didn't. Which can't save them all, but my expectations I think this week are all screwed up. I expected so much more out of so many different players, and just didn't really receive it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey, to follow up on my Wolves stat last week of a striker not scoring, they had a striker score a year and 2 days later. So here we go. We're moving forward.
And to say he scored is a very nice thing of you to say, because that ball, that was a shit show.
Yeah.
And he just found his way to the ball and put it in the back of the net. So, yeah.
But, hey, you brought an end to that scoreless run.
Wow.
We can all move forward now.
Did you ever tweet that or put that out? Did you see that stat anywhere, or did you just did you do your own research behind it?
Initially on Reddit,
okay,
and then I mean, yeah, it just happened to be the next week. It kind of comes to an end, but I saw that go in, and I was like, oh, well, who scored? And there's like a striker. Wow, incredible.
He is listed as a striker. Is that guaranteed?
I double checked because I was like, I don't know exactly. Who's per transfer market calls him a center forward. So
okay, who scored has him as an attacking midfielder?
Oh well, see, then maybe, who knows? It's all up in the air.
Did you find that on the Wolves subreddit?
What
the stat, the Wolves stat on the goal?
No, I think it was just on the soccer subreddit, so I can try and find it real quick. But yeah, I mean it. I'm okay to continue the scoreless striker.
How many days?
Narrative, but oh, here it is, right here. So, so I mean, yeah, they in this post they don't list. I think it was Huang He-Chan or something that scored today. He's not listed on the strikers here. But I don't know. Transfer market lists him as a center forward. If who scored says attacking mid, then
Let's
maybe
pay attention to that stat.
yeah.
Keep it in our back pocket. Today we'll call it a striker scored.
We'll give it to you today, yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see where this goes.
All right, with that, Chad, let's break down our nominations for the week. Let's start with everyone's least favorite, which I don't know what it is.
Yeah, what? What is that?
I think my least favorite for this week is my least favorite of the week is player of the week. I had 3 on my list.
That was a hard one.
I didn't really know how I wanted to do this. Trossard, Kane, and Neto are my 3.
Neto.
Yeah. Clean sheet, 6 saves. You beat Liverpool. You deserve to be up there.
Fair.
Kane, 2 goals, 3 shots, 1 from a PK. Trossard, 3 assists. Clean sheet. I could go either way with these. I don't want to go Neto because Bournemouth is my nomination for team of the week. So that leaves me Kane and Trossard. Now, Trossard doing 3 assists is pretty freaking cool, breaking the record for only player to have 3 assists and a half. Kane, goal. We've given players player of the week with 2 goals before. I don't feel like Kane gets.
I don't think this was the game.
I don't think this is the game either.
Not even because like one was a pen. That's fine for me, but just because it was against Forest, like just based on the teams themselves, like Tottenham should be winning that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. My only nomination was Trossard. I mean, the 3 assists in the first half, being the only Premier League player to do that is just still surprising to me. Yeah, I mean that was the only one that really stood out to me. Everyone else, a lot of players had a good week, but I don't know that anyone really really stuck it out there. And
it's a fun stat too. 3 assists, like you don't see that very often.
Yeah. So,
all right,
that would be my pick.
Team of the week.
I definitely have Bournemouth there. My only other one was Everton, only because they got the win. They ended Brentford's unbeaten run.
It's a good shot too.
Yeah, I was between those two. Not clear on either one.
Everton won it a couple weeks ago. I know we're not. Teams can win it again. Liverpool won it not that long ago too.
I think I'm maybe leaning towards Bournemouth here, only because you're grabbing vital 3 points and coming off of Liverpool's performance last week to take them down.
And they lost Liverpool 9-0 the first time around.
And that too, a little redemption. So I'd be good with Bournemouth. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a defensive play this week? Anything notable?
The only notable one I got was David De Gea had a pretty good save off of Theo Walcott, had a header. It was kind of a few yards in front of him, but the header was kind of straight at him, but it was a good kind of reactionary save. Yeah, I mean, if I'm sure you got something better.
Well, I'm trying to decide how we want to do this because I don't think we should make a defensive player of the week, right? I think it should be some type of highlight.
Just do a play of the week or what?
Well, I would like to keep it defensive because if we're honoring a goal scorer, we're that's easily offensive. So I didn't see anything like goal line saving or I didn't see anything super crazy. We don't even have to do this week. They were just decent saves, but again, savable things. It wasn't anything like holy crap, look what that player just did. I didn't get that moment out of anything that I saw. And I might have missed something. It's very possible, but we can save this highlight for a notable or a worthy person. I just can't say I want to give it out just because I have to. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
think that's fair. I mean, um, unfortunately, a lot of the defensive work gets overlooked often,
Right.
but then you do have those times where it does really stand out, and like I
Yeah.
think that's maybe when we do bring attention to it and like
Like a
celebrate
bicycle
it.
kick goal
Yeah,
saving clearance, like something crazy. Like, yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Um, all right, we'll hold off on that one there. Good, again, a lot of good saves, but also a lot of just
yeah,
like that's your job.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you should be doing. Goal of the week. Phew. I got
We have the same four that
we
I had Dwight McNeil,
yes.
Jack
I
Harrison,
should do.
Ben Chilwell, and Patson
And
Daka.
Bamford is on here, but the deflection he's fifth
Oh,
on
and
my
Bamford.
list.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
fifth though, so he won't make the top four.
Hmm.
Um, how do we go about this?
Um,
I think I'll do my least favorite and then just kind of work my way up if you want to like do your
okay.
least favorite. I think McNeil is fourth for me
Hmm.
just because I don't know, it was a nice hit ball, but it was also he was kind of off balance too. It's not my favorite style of goal. How about that?
Sure. Um, I'm gonna say this may be a little bit harsh, but I'm gonna say Ben Chilwell.
Ooh,
Um, Great shot from him, but I think it really is aided by the keeper not expecting the shot.
on a volley though against his old club.
Yeah, but like keepers just kind of stood trying to direct traffic,
Okay.
thinking he's gonna take the ball down and cross it in or something. So I don't know. He leaves a bigger gap than I think he should. Um, I don't know. We can come back to that if we need to. I
Well,
guess.
no. It's okay because if you're not down with Chilwell, because Chilwell is going to be probably my first or second, but this changes things for me a little bit because now context does matter for me. It always does.
Hmm.
Daka would be next. I love the shot, love the hit, love the
Yeah.
confidence, great power. Um, but now I'm looking at Jack Harrison because the man had an own goal not long before, comes back,
The redemption
earns the
arc.
point, the redemption, totally the redemption arc. It was fitting.
Yeah. 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 I really like Daka's goal. Like he not only is the shot good, but it's like three or four Chelsea players kind of crashing in on him as he gets the shot off. But that Jack Harrison goal is also pretty nice. And then yeah, you bring in the context of not only the own goal, but getting a draw out of the game.
And it was late too, 70th minute.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
Unlike when was Daka's was scored pretty early, right?
Yeah, and then I mean that game ended.
Yeah, it
We
wasn't a
lost 3-1.
it was
So
the equalizer. So like
yeah,
it did bring them momentum, but then eventually Chelsea did Chelsea things. I did like Havertz's goal. It was very calm.
I almost yeah
I thought that goal wasn't going to count because of how he reacted.
yeah he didn't really
Care.
do much. I guess I mean
It's the Chelsea
what I
way.
guess he maybe just kind of thought he could be off and wait for the call, and I don't know. You lose that instant adrenaline because of that, but it was a nice goal.
It was
Just
nice. It was nice. All right. Well, if we're in agreement with Jack Harrison, I am all for it. I know we will make Zach a very happy person
oh yeah,
that his Leeds guy is making our list. Um, cool. That was great. Episode, geez, 28?
28. Yeah,
28. Good for us. We're on a roll.
yeah, moving right along.
Anything else you want to note, Chad?
Um, USL season started last
Oh,
night. Sac
nice,
Republic
nice.
started their season away to El Paso. Got the 1-0 win.
Nice.
It's a good start. Home opener next weekend.
Who they play?
I'll be there. We're playing Charleston Battery.
Can't say
So
I've heard of them. Are they from the East Coast?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Charleston. That
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
So yeah, that's exciting. Get to go to games again. It's been too long. So.
Nice. I'll be playing in St. Louis games here eventually.
Oh, you got to get down there. They're undefeated.
I know.
Three
It's
games
definitely
in.
definitely a plan. A couple. I know Mark Mickelson has been out there. Zach wants to go, and then we got KC on the other side of us. So we're right in the middle. So we got to find kind of ways to get out to each side. But
yeah.
We'll make it happen. And with that, episode 28 of the Hooligans Pitch. We hope everyone has a fantastic week. Go Liverpool. Please beat Madrid so my life can look a lot better than what it was this weekend. All right?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right, with that, Hooligans Pitch, we're out. Peace.
Peace.